Kun now has like playing a little bit of what you said last week on how like Kun is a good match for Bam now with the ice and the water combo. But he's also a great match for Rack now with the fire and the rock.
Think that so.
Hmm?
Why do you say he's a good match?
Because ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergies, the shop. I am your host Sinji. With me, as always, Bay.
What up?
What's up, Irby? What's going on, brother?
Same old, same old.
Same old
Life
shit.
living me. Yeah.
Oh, life
Yes,
living you
sir.
this time?
Yeah. Live me today.
Oh, at least life comes with a little variety.
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it's not a box of chocolates.
Well, has life given you a flavor of the week this week?
It has. After much deliberation and prepondering, I decided to give my man Tokyo for finally growing some feathers and some wings. It only took your best friend whooping your butt to force you to go grow some wings. So
That
I
is
gotta give it to him.
that is also my flavor this week.
Oh, had the same flavor.
Yeah, my
Okay.
my man was supposed to be losing humanity and just grew wings.
Yeah. I
But
think he
I also had a runner up this time.
oh yeah.
It was when the troll in Overlord was so confused about not being able to cut eyes that he just turned around and slashed his homie.
I was like, mm.
I was
I was like,
like,
dang, he killed him, but then
and then he regenerated. It was like, and then he was just like, "Nah, it works. Let me go back to it." I'm like, "Bruh."
just stop. Stop it. Yeah, I know.
Yep, that was
Uh,
my two.
yeah, I had many more, but
Oh, freaking Shield Hero was just blockbuster after blockbuster.
yeah, it wasn't too bad.
What? You didn't like the episodes, the 3 episodes in Shield Hero?
Yeah, they were pretty good.
All right, well, pretty good and wasn't too bad. Two different. I'm
Maybe.
thinking I'm more on the line that like they were great.
Yeah, they were good episodes.
Well, at least we're progressing forward.
Yes, always progressing. Never look behind you.
All right, so what do you want to start off with?
I don't know. There's just so much. Uh, we do the noble blurb for Jujutsu. Not much there. Mostly fighting. We find that Hakuri Ken is unkillable for 4 minutes and 11 seconds after he hits the jackpot with his curse technique.
For as long
And
as the song, whatever song he's listening to, is
yeah,
playing.
the Love Train theme song, and he has unlimited curse energy. So that's pretty much it for that one. Probably should move on into Chojin.
Oh, from
Mm,
one person getting their ass kicked to another person getting their ass kicked.
yeah, got his butt handed to him.
Yeah, Azuma was just fucking destroying him, which this is honestly making me like Azuma less. I liked Azuma, but this just seems like inferiority complex.
Yeah,
Like
and it's
he's
kind
now seeming like he's within a reasonable state of mind because like just his thoughts towards the end of the fight it was like I'm no longer going to be your hero. I'm like, bro, you wanted to be him so you can be better to him so he can look up to you.
of yeah. It kind of reminds you when someone else gets mad, you shoot some kills and call it duty, you know, and they just be like, dang, but can't win them all, my friend.
I don't,
But
I don't think that equates.
nah, probably not. I don't care. But anyhow, yeah, I thought something else that was noteworthy was how uh, they use rays and they explained it a little bit more.
Like each
And
time a Chojin user becomes near death and uses rays. Like he loses his humanity and it becomes more Chojin like.
Yeah, and he
And
also gets yeah, they say it's like it's like destruction and creation result in a revival.
mm-hmm.
So I'm like, huh.
And Tokyo had to do it quite a few times during that fight.
Yeah, he was getting beat up bad. But phew, yeah, so but yeah, his humanity. But I feel like Tokyo, he's gonna end up having his humanity still, because I feel like he's a different breed of Trojan or something now.
Right.
But he grew feathers. I was
He
so excited.
he did grow feathers.
Yeah. And he knocked Azuma out and then he saves him. So
So I almost feel a little lied to um about Overlord. Lord Infamous, I'm directing this towards you. Season 3 has started. And right now it's lizards, but instead lizards, it's goblins. We're in another fucking side story. You know, it's just like, bro, we're in another side story. Granted, I like the goblins a little more than I like the lizards, but come on, what's with the side stories? Maybe it'll get better.
it could get better.
But we're back.
Perseverance.
Yeah, so we're back in the Carne Village for episodes 2, 3, and 4. And essentially all we're doing this week is watching the how the Carne Village has adapted to living with goblins and how they don't have enough people in their village to really flourish as a whole village. And they want Henry to become like the chief of the village. And you know, bowl cut, I can't see his eyes guy is still head over heels over this chick. But
Mickey.
um Lupe's Regina pops in the village every once in a while, and I guess she's supposed to be maintaining like watch over it. But like since it was just a human village, she didn't think it was important enough for to report like anything that might cause that village harm to Ainz. So when the mention of um, the Giant of the East and the Demon Snake of the West coming together and possibly destroying Carne Village, Ainz was kind of upset that he wasn't notified, and then he kind of like took back from him, was like, oh, it was my fault for not telling you how important that village was. But now that he sent her back, he has given her the task of keeping Henry, the boy that can make the boy in love with her, I forget his name, and his grandmother alive. And it
Yeah.
seems like he set up the attack with the monsters on the village to test Lupe's Regina. So kind of like his overall test with Cocytus with the lizards. Now it's Lupe's Regina with goblins and ogres and snake things.
Yeah.
Any
Mm-mm-mm.
thoughts?
Yeah. Man, I got a whole bunch of thoughts for this show. Um, yeah, I don't know. Irons just irritates me because the first part where he was like, "Oh, you knew my plan? You knew all this what I was thinking? Like you wasn't thinking any of that. Stop it."
Oh, he knows he wasn't thinking anything of that. And like, what's funny is, what if I was thinking like, what if Demiurge was like almost manipulating Ainz to like whatever?
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not likely that it's all like comedic effect. Like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, when did we have this conversation? But like, it'd be kind of cool if like Demiurge was like leading Ainz to do what Demiurge wanted to do.
Yeah. Down the wrong path. Yeah, it just gets so like I don't feel like he ever wants to do anything because he wants to do it. He just does it because everyone expects him to do it, and it's like, okay, have some gumption, my guy. Go ahead and say you want to protect the humans, or say you don't like the humans, or he'll like he got in a roundabout way of saying that the humans were actually important to him because of the potions, but they were just important to him because he wanted to save them humans anyway. Like, stop hiding behind your feels, my guy. Just let them out. But that's me. I digress.
Well, yeah, but like the what's okay. So like I feel like the position he's in, he's forcing himself in because everyone in Nazarick right now is the creation of the guild members that he was a part of. And that guild had a strict non-human rule. Like you had to be anything but human. So I think naturally the creatures they created kind of hated humans. And so now he's just trying to maybe live up to the image that they created within them.
Well, I think it was maybe it doesn't have to do with like not hating humans or whatever. I feel like it's probably like one of those ones where like they just pick like, oh hey, let's all not be humans. That'd be cool. We had different species or something. But I guess there could be some unconscious bias towards non-humans. But yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Some diversity. Cause I do try to create different types of characters without using humans mostly.
Right.
So
Wouldn't wouldn't Sebas be considered human even though he
I
was
had
created?
I feel like he's something different. I don't think we ever learned his actual like um genus, you know?
Oh, so you think maybe he might be like a humanoid monster?
Yeah, or like human um like half elf or something where he doesn't have the ears
Mm-hmm.
or maybe he's not even showing his true form.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't know. But he does look human ish. But he's definitely stronger than a human though.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Cool. But yeah, that was not much for Overlord. I mean, I kind of I want to see more Eins. I'm like, I'm okay with the side stories, I guess. And like, they did put the main crew in there here and there, I guess, to keep you a little more interested. But like, this all just feels like side stories, filler. It feels like Boruto right now. You know?
Yeah, and Boruto's terrible to watch.
Yeah.
Not bad to read, but terrible to watch.
So you want to get into some TOG?
Yeah, TLG was flaming this week. Had a whole bunch of spicy flavors there. So this installment of Tower Gods season 3, episodes 18 to 25. It
18
starts
to
off, yeah.
25.
It starts off with my boy Bam and his brother disciple Karaka starting their assault on Yama to wake him up. And then we find out a little interesting tidbit here that Ding Ding always knew he was the heart that belonged to Doom, and he proceeded to live this life of a lie in order to survive. Never told anyone, never really told a soul. Then my man wanted to live. He pulled a Nico Robin and ran away. So that's what he did. And then we find out. I thought this was interesting that the power that Yama gives isn't actually his own power. It's his own brother's power, you know? So
Hmm.
that was cool. Yeah, so so then we find out that they labeled him as selfish. Yama. I think Yama cared more about his people than his brother. And you can see that differentiation later on in the story. So then we get to Kun's team and they've come across a person that's dead. And then the fish thing, well, Kun sense that it's still alive, or the fish tells him that it's still alive. So he revives the fallen soldier. I'm like, oh man. And then when this scene was like one of those ones where, when Dragon Ball Z where the power levels all raised. It's like, oh, who's that over there? And then all of them get them big old wide eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They all looked at Kun like, oh, that boy that's doing something special. So realize something about Kun, but I don't really know what it is yet. And then we flash to Avant Kill. She encounters a blue hole, uh, yeah, a blue hole ranker or something, which is just a fancy term for saying that they disappeared and no one really knows where they were, and now they're back again. And the Fug Elder, we find out he's a Kel Helm, and he's gonna show her a different path to take because he can't let them go to Bam. I'm like, oh man, this is getting intense. Von Kill's in there. And he calls her actions reckless. And there's another tidbit here I liked. He mentioned that they are the darkness in the tower, and they have to reject the light that tries to lift the darkness. So,
Interesting.
yeah, I thought so too. I thought Fug actually wanted to change the tower, but I don't know. They don't let anyone change the tower now. That makes sense. What do you think about that?
Well, so Fug just seems like everyone looks at Fug as like the bad, like the villains in My Hero, right? But
Yeah.
upon deeper inspection and like some people's backstories, it's more so like the people in Fug don't agree with the way Jihad runs the tower, and as we know, Jihad is kind of like a my way or the highway kind of guy. And since he has the power to shut everyone up, you don't go against that because he also has the 10 great family heads. But we also seen in the floor of death a princess of Jihad and a family head clearly going against Jihad's wishes. So it's not like everyone agrees with Jihad. And that like we have these three big factions. There's Jihad's army, the Wokai Hung Shang Son, something like that, led by Urek or Second Command Urek.
Well, I didn't even know about that one.
No, they have seen it. Say said it. It's just not mentioned as often because you don't see Ulrich Manzino and his crew too often up to this point.
Mm.
But there's also Fug, the people who like swore against Jihad, and like it's almost like you don't. I feel like Bam being more open about being a part of Fug kind of shows that Fug isn't as bad as intended. Their methods of achieving their goals are a little sketchy, but like Jing Song Ha and Bam and like maybe a select few, maybe a little bit Karaka now, kind of show like, all right, maybe not everyone in Fug is a total dick.
I don't know. Karaka, he looks like he grade A1, day one.
I
Nah,
mean,
he's not as bad.
yeah, I was about to say like I'm also a little more ahead. So I
In the
maybe I've
beginning.
just worn up to Karaka and like I don't mind that he's a kind of a dick, but like he does seem like as much of a dick.
Yeah. Well, he's not as bad as he used to be.
Or maybe he's just
Yeah.
more open to Viol, more open to accepting Viol as like his brother disciple.
Yeah, could be. Who knows? And then, so the rest of the chapter, we actually find that Ding Ding's heart is inside Louis. So I was like, ooh, which I don't understand why they took his heart and put it in Louis when they could have just took Doom's heart and just put it in Louis. Like you could have skipped a whole step, you know?
Yeah, yeah, but it. I don't know. I'd have
Hey,
to like read it again to give you like an honest opinion on like why I thought they did that. Which I
hmm
probably should just start reading the 8 chapters with you.
you could.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have been reading some other stuff I had told you to read,
What else
but you
did you
gave
tell me
on
to
that.
read? Nah, vigilante. I couldn't get into vigilantes, bro. I give
Mm,
no fucks about vigilantes.
it was the best one, and you just didn't read it.
Nah, it is definitely not as good as My Hero. I mean, I did read the last two chapters just to see how he turned out. And it looks like my man was flying, but like I give no fucks about vigilantes.
Mm, it's terrible.
If you want to recommend,
Mm-mm-mm.
which you're not innocent in this either, sir. You have not finished a couple things I have suggested.
Dude, that's terrible.
Exactly, but they're good to me.
Nah, because you like to bully, because you a bully.
Yo, Gray Eon, bro. Shit's about to go down.
That's the only thing I ain't finished. That one.
Yeah, and I think this
One
is the
thing.
only thing.
I told you like nine different stuff, and you ain't want to do
Nah. You told me Black Clover. I read Black Clover. I read more Black
them.
Clover than you read Black Clover.
Mm,
You didn't really tell me to read Boruto. I just started reading Boruto, and then I fell off from Boruto.
mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Vigilantes, I can't do it. Can't do it.
Mm.
There's too much. There's too many words. There's too much reading. Not enough interesting action.
Well, I enjoy reading. Reading, enlightens your brain.
Now, you want to suggest something else? I will give it a shot, but I don't really know what other reads you have.
I'll think of something. But anyhow, next to the next thing topic. So let's
So,
see. He he takes the arm. Jordan fight. He's fighting the outside dog canine person, and like he attacks him with his guaranteed attack. It took his arm off, and they succeeded in waking up Yama. And this was another funny one. Rack doesn't believe in Kun's power, so Kun's like, "Well, how about I kill you and bring you back to life?" And Rack's like, I don't think it's that serious."
it's like that. I think I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So then Doom awakens, and he starts getting revenge in the tower. Yeah, the tower, or he starts his revenge tour.
I didn't like that though. I didn't like just to prove that Kun can come back. They killed him again.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like he's fire and ice now, or something. Like they they go on later to explain a little bit of what he actually is. So I was like, oh, okay.
Which is something you
But
need. So like if you're gonna keep this crew together, like they need power ups to keep up with Bam, right?
yeah, and I guess that's how all the nature stuff came into play,
Mm-hmm.
and how Kun actually has a nice ability, and so. But yeah, so then we also find out if Doom dies, all the Canaan people die because he's the source of all the power. Which I'm like, ooh, that's an interesting curveball. So that also explains why he was being kept alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found out that Paul, Doom, and Yama were all orphans, and Doom can make regular people into canines. I was like, okay. And Fudd grew interested in Doom because they wanted him as a slayer. Yama was originally against it, which I can understand. And Doom, if he gives you his power, he can mind control you. So that's a whole nother aspect. Because they wanted people to mind control and make them a big old army to fight, which I don't know. Would you rather? I guess you could mind control strong people, because later on, Doom tries to entice Bam to join him and give him more power. So, so yeah,
Yeah, but like as much power as you have, I think there's a reason Yama is the king of the canines.
yeah. Because he can't. Yeah. I got it in another section here. I'll get into that later.
All right, okay, all
But
right.
yeah,
I ain't trying to steal your spotlight, homie. Keep going. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So then we also find out that Yama agrees to be the Slayer after their fight if the workshop people could build a device for him to share the power. And let's see. And now the truth has been unveiled because Jordan heard and stuff. And Jordan, he kind of knew that Yama wasn't like the best person because he was always Yama was always looking out for himself. He's like, yeah, I knew that you caring for other people wasn't really you. You're such a bad man. You always fought alone. You didn't need a pack. And Yama's like, yeah, I didn't. I've always been that way. So I was like, okay,
Hey, listen, my man stayed true to himself.
yeah. So Yama's left with two options: either have the race die out, or kill his, or to have a new leader and his brother. And then Bam proposes another game, and we find out that the Fang is actually the key to his mind control power. So they try to keep that away from him. And tries to escape Doom, and Hots in the crew there, Ishu. They had talked to some man, um, Ryomon, and he threw a giant spear down to hit Doom. I was like, oh, okay. And then we find out that what killed Helm has an ancient power, and he cuts through Avon kills ancient power, and he's like, "Oh, you're not the only one with ancient powers or something." I was like, "Ooh, okay, my man's strong, strong."
Mm-hmm.
So then we flash back to Rumon, and we find out he has a crush on Dorsey, and I was like, "Oh, I can't blame you, my guy, having a
Yeah,
crush on
but
Dorsey."
unfortunately, only one person has her eyes.
Yeah, she has her own eyes.
You know what I mean. She only has her eyes on one person. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
There's
and I
only
was like,
one guy that she's willing to break the sacred rule of jihad for.
yeah. So then we get the backstory how they got him to agree to throw the spear by essentially pimping her out, selling the meat so he can help him out. She's like, "Oh, any friends are her friends need me, so I need to help." Yeah, so and then Yama goes to fight the eldest envoy and he attacks Mule, and that man Mule's super weak, but he had a plan up his sleeve. So then we get a little bit more here. Bam and Karaka, they kind of have some moments to discuss a plan, and they're like, "Oh, they've never seen a regular like you before, so we use that to our advantage." And then Burdage intervenes to stop Doom from harming Kun, and she's like, "Hey, Kun, give me some more of your special power. It really energized me earlier." He's like, "I might be able to reach the next level of transformation." And then my man Bam shows up, like, "Okay, hey, Bam in the house."
Yay!
Yeah, and here he wants to smooth over things between Yama and Doom.
Now,
And he
if we think about it right now, Kun now has like playing a little bit of what you said last week on how like Kun is a good match for Bam now with the ice and the water combo. But he's also a great match for Rack now with the fire and the rock.
think that's so.
Hmm?
Why do you say he's a good match?
Because like if Rack harnesses rock and like he can withstand maybe the heat that Kun maybe like uses on Rack, then you have like almost magma or like lava rocks or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks. Yeah, he could harden his the rock into an obsidian almost,
Just
a sharp weapon,
you know,
or
just a
turn them
thought.
into sharp claws. Or Rack may be the one that saves Kun when when the fish was like, "Oh, I'll burn it all down," which is later on. But since we're talking about it, I'll bring it up now. Yeah, that fish is interesting
The fish
because
is a dick.
yeah, the power gets all out of control. But we can discuss that a little later. Put a pin in it,
Pinned.
and then yeah. So then Bam was saying ding ding, but they're like, "Oh, he's already dead." But Khan's like, "Oh, he's still alive." Senses him with his firefish. So so then they explain the rules of what the new game and stuff and the fights and whatever. And they make a rule that a ranker fights Bam, he can't transform. And if they win, if the ranker wins, they can sue the Fang straight away. And then Karaka's like, "Oh, I'll give away my title if Doom wins." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Karaka has some faith in Bam. He's like, he can use a thorn. You gotta trick him. So then Bam starts fighting the ranker, and Karaka's like, "Oh, he's gotten a lot stronger, and he hasn't even used his thorn yet." Essentially, and I thought that was cool.
And surprise, surprise, he has two of them.
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, he got two thorns." So I was like, "That's gonna be even more a surprise." But yeah, Bam's gotten strong. He's already ranker strong. So, well, I don't know if he's fully ranker strong because that ranker couldn't power up.
No, I'm
So,
pretty sure at this point he is more than capable of holding his own against a ranker. It doesn't have to be like a high ranker because there's a lot of high rankers in this. There doesn't seem to be a proper. I don't want to say it's an issue, but like there doesn't seem to be a proper like scaling of power in Tower of God between ranker, high ranker, and then like um heir to be like next in line of a family leader, and then like family leader, and then jihad. It's just like it just seems like a variety of like power gaps, and also like depends on like who you get matched up with because like everyone has different abilities and things like that.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Yeah. So, so then Mule tells Yama he put a bomb in the air, and he's like, "You can't kill me. It's heading towards the residential district, and if I die, it explodes." Or Yama's like, "Psh, I don't care what happens to those folks." And then he's like, "Stop it. You know you care." And essentially, he's like, "Yeah, I do care." He's like, "You win. Don't blow up the people." And then we found out that Bam was like, "Oh, I promised not to use the thorn until my training was over." So essentially, this is when I'd liken it to Dragon Ball Z because they didn't go Super Saiyan when they were trained with Whis, and they used their base forms to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get the thorn, he's gonna be super OP.
So
Yeah,
it's just
so
like yeah. So it's like it's almost like God of High School to Dragon Ball. This current situation, like the abilities that you guys they use, like the Thorn, Super Saiyan, um, uh, Jin Morty's God form. Essentially, they're power enhancements. So whether you train, like it almost makes no sense to train in that enhanced form because like you're skipping hurdles that you can overcome in your base form, and therefore you overcome that in your base form, your enhanced form also in suit becomes stronger because it's just a
yep.
power multiplier. You feel me?
Nah, I don't feel you.
Oh, my bad.
Shoot, but I hear what you're saying though.
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, I
You,
hear you.
you picking up what I'm putting down?
Nah, I ain't picking up what you're putting down.
All right, cool. I ain't putting nothing down.
Yeah, I said pick it up when you're speaking.
Hey, but carry on.
Yeah, so yeah. Then Bam uses a flare wave explosion, close range, basically murders the ranker. He also uses reverse flow control. And then they murder their own ranker for losing to Bam. And now Gato wants to fight Bam. I'm like, okay. Everyone wants a little piece of Bam. And so Zone interrupts Gato from fighting Bam. And then we find out that Kun's a regular chosen by Hedon. And that's when I'm like, okay, so Hedon, if you want to think about was it Hedon in Naruto, that man was immortal.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like as long as the fire burns and you can contain it, you can keep coming alive or bringing other people back alive. But I feel like there may be some limitation where it's like you have to have at least like one HP left or something where you're almost dead but not really dead, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because Kun was kind of in a state of stasis, and I'm gonna say that lady had a faint heartbeat before she died, and he put the the flame in there. So yeah, and and then we flash the hang down a Hanson, whatever name is, and she talks Zone up to fight Gato again, and then she gave him the power that Kane gave him. And so I'm still. This is what I was wondering. I was like, what is this flame power? And then I was like, why is it like through Chia highs where like everyone gets a piece of it when they need a piece of it? It's like, oh, let me get a flame here. Oh, here's some flame. You can have a flame. So, yeah. And then,
Hold up, what the dog doing?
yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, oh, so you got the flame and you could share a flame. So you just pass the flame secondhand. But I do wonder, did that lady die passing on the flame? I don't know.
Maybe.
Didn't yeah, it didn't re show up yet. So then we flash back to yeah, we flash back to Yama where he's he already saw his canine people as disposable, Doom's canine people as disposable, and then Jordan stops the bomb. And then Yama comes up with the I'm the king of dogs and he murders Mule. He said, you're not going anywhere. He tries to flee.
Damn right ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. And then Kun and Verda Dichi make a stand against their pursuer, the canine man. And then Kun gives the man some power and he takes away the power. I'm like, okay, you just absorb and resorbs. And this is where the flames like he calls him different than that pig. And I'm like, who's the pig? Who? I need names. Which they'll probably tell you later. And I'm like, Kun, you could tell the flame, thank you for letting me use your power.
Maybe try to befriend it. I think Khan is just too stubborn.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. I thought you didn't think you were a sentient being or something. Now that I know you can talk, have feelings, thank you for what you've done for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Because what if it was essentially like the spirits in Black Clover, and like you just need a good relationship with it to fully harness its power?
yeah, that's what you need. So, but I don't know, Kun. I feel like as smart he is, he should have figured something out. And he could ask, "Who's the pig?" I'm sorry, I don't want to be like that pig, because pig always has a negative connotation. And so, I mean, unless you tell it to your friends in terms of endearment.
I don't know.
So, yeah, and the Flame says this is where he wants to burn everything around them. He says one day he'll go out of control. And this is why I'm saying your magma and rock thing may come in because Rag might be the only one able to save
Withstand.
from
Yeah.
the fire.
Well, there's
So
also that young girl that is sometimes in the crew.
yeah,
That she has like the hottest flame, and like she burned her. She couldn't control herself and burned her former teammates, but Bam
yeah,
could control her, and that's why she um stuck around him, but verbally dis like disapproved of him because he
yeah,
was Fug.
yeah. So,
So it seems
so
like no
then
matter what team Bam is with, they're getting a negative rapport.
yeah, pretty much. But who cares? Bam's the OG. He's the leader. He'd make it do what it do, baby. So then we flash to the outside dog people and Kellaham. He has a guide with him, but he can't see Bam's path. And I was thinking, why can Horion see his path, but no one else could see his path? That's interesting, isn't it?
What if Horion be lying though?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, what she? How does she know? She can't see. Can she just see what everyone else does around Bam and just pieces it together?
I don't know. I feel like so like I don't ever see Horion betraying Bam because even when she disagrees with him, she kind of still supports him. And like there was that one scene that was funny as hell. It's just like, let's go save my stupid god because
Yeah,
like Bam was still like not wanting to be a part of Fug, but like he was still in Fug. So it's like I don't know. Like I like Horion.
yeah. I don't know. It just
I
seems weird because I think
I wouldn't want her
God
to not
spoke
be
to you.
part of the crew. Is yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So then Bam, Doom was trying to make Bam into a canine person, and then in the midst of that, we find that like a low bio Yastrachon did something to Doom, betrayed him. I'm like, okay,
Oh, Yasuracha.
yeah,
Got it. All right, I know who you're talking about.
yeah. So
He's
so
actually like
then
really current in where I'm at right now.
yeah. So then they let him they let Bam go, and I thought this was a cute thing. Bam, Rack runs and slides under Bam from hitting to stop him from hitting the ground hard. I'm like, oh look at Rack, and then Yama makes an interest.
I just love that Little Rack is still a thing. Like he tries to fight in little form too.
Except when it's an enemy where he can let loose.
Yeah, or like I guess the big spear that he needed to use.
Yeah, which I think is not Little Rack is probably better. Is better for the series because he has to. It's like the same thing with Bam not using the thorn. Because I feel like Little Rack's probably not as strong as his big form.
You think so? I think it's just condensed.
I mean, there's it's more physics to it. Like it might be condensed, but it's still you don't get the long arm pull with a longer body.
Or hit with like something like boulder sized instead of something that's just rock sized.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. That could be a
because
thing.
yeah, because it's I guess it's like potential, like a discus throwers. If you
Hmm.
got if you got one that's like let's say he's only like 5'8", and you got another one that's like 6'4", and they both throw the same distance with like no training, you're gonna pick the one that's 6'4" because he has longer tools, you know,
Right.
because it's all about the long pull and discus. So he can always improve better.
Hmm.
So so I think that's probably the same. Like the same thing throwing the spear. There's a an apex of where your length helps throwing the spear. So
Interesting.
yeah, little physics lessons for you today, kiddos. Yeah, and that's it. So I guess last but not least is
Uh,
the shield hero.
I had a couple of things to talk about before we get into Shield Hero.
We'll talk away.
So, just some mentions, some shout outs to a couple of things that my co-host and our faithful listener probably don't care about. Luffy officially won his battle with Kaido.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, apparently Big Mom and Kaido both fell to the center of the earth or some shit. So,
Hmm.
don't know if we'll ever see them again, but if we do, it'd be confusing.
Well, Kaido can't die, so
Allegedly.
eventually he'll crawl up out the magma somehow.
Probably. And then Big Mom, well, that was the same thing with Big Mom. Apparently, you couldn't injure Big Mom unless she was having a panic attack.
I think being surrounded by magma will give me very induced panic. But that's
But,
me.
and it is, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but Oda is apparently taking a break from releasing content to create the biggest war arc in I think it's in One Piece, but a lot of people are writing in anime, but I think it's just in One Piece, the biggest war arc in One Piece.
So they
Which
have a whole nother arc.
oh, there's gonna be I think there's two major arcs after this, which is the war, I think, with the Marines, and then the fight against Blackbeard, and then, boom, shows it's over. One Piece is over.
Yeah.
And then just another shout out to Hero Killer, a webtoon that I've been reading. My girl Iwa, she kind of went a little crazy. Just this would have been my flavor of the week if I remembered it in time. So I'm just gonna give it a little love right now. She's in the middle of like a trial to become a hero, to like infiltrate the heroes, and like one of the trials was, hey, we have some criminals on the loose, capture them or kill them, but they were actually heroes in disguise testing them, and like all you had to do is have the courage to face them, because like to be a hero you're not always going to be in a winnable situation, but you got to be able to prioritize other people's safety above yours. Well, Iwa went after the strongest one she could find, and she was kicking his ass, and then he attached like a soul chain to her and said, this only comes off if one of us dies. And my girl said, well, obviously it's got to be you because I intend to live. And then she bashed his skull in. And then at the very end of that chapter, she was carrying his body in a wrap around with her. And at the very end of the chapter, it was like, anyone who faced one of these guys passed, because they were all heroes. And like the body fell, and she was like sweating. She was like, it wasn't me, honest. I was like, I don't know about that, Iwa. It looks kind of bad right now.
Yeah, that was terrible. She killed a hero.
Yeah, but like it was great.
One less person to
Well, not all heroes in this manhwa are good,
really.
which is the reason she's like the hero killer, because heroes are the reason her sister died.
Dang. Why is that the reason they died? Tell me why. Ain't nothing like
Stop, please stop. We'll go to the shield hero. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Nah, ain't no sorry.
Episode
Shit.
7, Infinite Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know about you, but when Kazuna mentioned that like you can't escape this labyrinth, she's been there for years, I was like, hey Kazuna, let me introduce you to my good old friend Plot Armor.
Yeah.
And then they escaped like right away. But now for me, Risha and Raftalia all woke up in a prison cell, which I don't know why Naofumi couldn't see Raftalia on his level thing, because she was in the same cell.
That was weird too.
Right? Because like Philo's name came up when they were close to her. But here Raftalia was just buried in hay, right in the same room as them, but like her name wasn't up. But they wake up in a jail cell on this island, and their levels have been reset to 1, which also begged brought on another question I had. Did you think the vassal heroes had to start from level 1 too when they went to Naofumi's world, Herbie?
It could be. That might have been why it took so long for them to find them.
Yeah, and then like another question I had that we can't answer is like, I wonder how long they were in that world, because like they clearly were leveled up.
Yeah, they were definitely stronger than he was whenever they met.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I I don't know. I feel like they should have either gave them like half levels or something,
Yeah,
because I'm like level 1.
because
That's what you're gonna
Kazuna,
do.
it's revealed that Kazuna's level 105.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But so
So
they wake up in a cell, and then I'm just like, they're looking around, and they go to a door, and they walk outside and end up teleporting. It's like, wait, Raftalia's level 1 and a child again. Should we have just looked for an egg first? Like maybe Philo's still in an egg.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, she's probably in an egg or something.
That's what I was thinking. And then I was also thinking, I'm like, wait, Raftalia, it goes to being a child again when she reverts in level. So, like, if they faced an enemy that, like, placed a debuff on her that, like, made her level low enough, would she, like, revert back to a child in the middle of the fight?
I feel like they don't have that kind of
No, no, no. But,
debuff in
like,
there.
I'm just saying, like, so if the circumstance arrives, because, like, obviously the situation isn't impossible. She's reverted back to a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just the thoughts that was going through my mind as I was watching.
Yeah. I was like, oh, she's a kid again.
Mm-hmm.
Little Raftalia.
So like they're coming with a plan. They need to like find Philo. They need to escape and they need to get revenge for Ost. And they're fighting weak enemies to level up, just like Naofumi used to do with Ratelia when they were younger, and she's remembering her from the past. And then do you remember what the monster that showed up out of the water?
I think it was a Kappa or something.
Yeah, yeah, the Kappa. And Naofumi recognized it right away. It was too strong for them. It messed up his arms. Raftalia was trying to save him. Risha was trying to save him, but like they couldn't damage it. And then Kazuna shows up. Now, is her does she have two weapons or is her fishing rod turning into a sword?
I think her sword turns into a fishing rod.
You think her sword turns into a fishing rod? Because
Yeah.
she's the hunting hero, so maybe it can just take on hunting weapon shapes.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it can also become a bow?
I would say yes, using it to hunt. I also feel like their cardinal heroes are better than now for me's world cardinal heroes. But
Probably.
that's
I
just
was just
me.
more amazed they also had cardinal heroes. Like they have
Yeah.
vassal heroes and cardinal heroes, and like, but like they had to hunt the cardinal heroes in Naofumi's world. I'm just like confused with the heroes.
Yeah. Which I'm like, why did they hunt in there? Why need to go to a whole different world to hunt to save your world?
Yeah, and like, why are everyone convinced that Naofumi is gonna bring out the destruction of this world?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they might be further advanced or something where like their histrionics will tell them that like they know something that they don't know where they have to go to a different world to destroy in order to save their world.
Hmm.
Like battles, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe Kyo has people brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
But um, once Naofumi learns that Kazuna is actually friends with Lark and Glass, he trusts her a lot less. But then she reveals that she tries to slice my man's throat, which if she had a weapon that could injure him, Naofumi would be dead.
Yeah.
And revealed that her weapon cannot harm humans. So she could
Yeah.
probably kill Raftalia. Maybe. Or do
Maybe.
half damage.
I don't know. I feel like hunting. I don't know. She's half human, probably. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's probably a loophole where she can't harm her.
Right. Okay, so then they decide that, okay, we can trust this lady, let's eat. Raftalia has more of an appetite now because she's growing and like she's constantly hungry. And Kizuna shows Naofumi in the group where she believes the exit to be, but like she can't get through it. And Naofumi is just like, I think this is a bug. It's like, yeah, it's a bug. And what do you do when you find bugs? You exploit it. And Naofumi had a smile on his face. I'm like, yo, the confidence in my man. So they planted this like ever growing, almost like a beanstalk, that like destroyed the ground, and like they just fell out of the prison. And the way Kazuma was celebrating and hugging on Naofumi, I could have sworn You would have seen. I would have saw Ratalia's jealous side come out.
She was a little like, but she let it slide. She's very mature about it.
Yeah, she wasn't mature about it in the next couple episodes or the next episode.
No, she was not.
So episode 8, no name.
Definitely didn't have a name. I
I
went
was,
online to look. I was like, what is this episode called?
yeah,
Couldn't find it.
no name. We find out Kazuna's level 105, and I was reminded that Naofumi levels up slower than his party because they're doing the fighting while he's just looking for things to absorb and shit. And
Yep.
then um Naofumi and Kazuna were talking about items from their world and how they have different effects on each other, and they were getting like super excited. And there it was, Raftalia's jealous side. And then
Yeah.
like the rest of that episode, or the next for like half of the episode, Raftalia was just trying to get Naofumi to like have like just her attention. Just like, how does
Hmm.
this look on me, or who would look the best, or and then now for me it's just like, well, I have the highest defense stats, so I would say my outfit is better than all of yours.
Yeah.
But they go they go to an inn because it starts snowing, and then Raptalia's like, now's the time to go while it's snowing, 'cause their defenses should be low, and it turned out to be a trap. So they're like rushing to find the dragon vein hourglass, and they end up splitting up. And once they finally get into the room, Raptalia was just like, she broke through the thing that was blocking them, which now you realize they could have done that all along.
Yeah.
And the guy, I don't remember what his name is, but
Yo.
no, that's not Kyo.
Oh no. Yeah. The other. I'll call him his accomplice.
Kyo 2, according to Now for me, Kyo 2, the bootleg version of Kyo was there. And it's like, you guys fell for it. Ha 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 ha. And then Kizuma and Risha show up and they make a break for the hourglass. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna get away. And then like everyone lit up, and then Raftalia's light went off. And then Kyo shows up laughing. It's like, I knew you'd do this. This is why I left her with you. And then we end up leaving Raftalia in enemy territory because they couldn't cancel the warp. And Naofumi was pissed and like biting his like he bit his lip. He had blood coming down, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad this wasn't a third episode because I would have been pissed."
Let's see. Yeah. I still don't understand how he just made it so Raftalia couldn't go.
I have no idea. Maybe
Yeah.
he did something to her body when they got
Or
teleported.
or made it so that only humans could use it.
Possibly, I don't know.
Yeah. But it wasn't too clear. So
Yeah. Well, episode 9, Humming Fairy, and then you see Philo is about to be sold, and I was just like, damn, my girl's back in like a merchant thing, which that's what I thought.
yeah.
And
Being sold.
then we meet at Xenobolt.
Yep.
I think that's his name, and the Naofumi learns that you can use a Shikigami to always know where like that older person is. So like Kizuma's Shikigami, whose name is Chris and is a penguin, always knows where, except when she was in the labyrinth, always knows where it's Kazuna and Glass is because I guess that was made from both of their qualities.
Yep.
So Naofumi makes a Shikigami using hair, the very first fiber of hair that he absorbed from Raftalia, and his blood, and then like a little raccoon Shikigami shows up. Which I don't really get why they didn't make a Shikigami for Philo too.
That's what I was like. Why she ain't get no Shikigami?
Yeah, like I'm sure you
But
absorb like a feather from her or something.
probably maybe an eggshell from when she hatched or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, it was just something. But like they go to the city, we find out that Ethno, the little thing he was floating on, can grow into a boat, and like it can basically follow the travel line between Dragon Vein hourglasses, which makes it more convenient because he can kind of like just take you following the line. He can get out wherever and drop you off wherever, rather than using the Dragon Hourglass Vein to completely go into a possible ambush. Which something
Yeah.
they said earlier was like us going right back would be um what he wants. So like, nah, not really, because he turned it off. So he doesn't want you back.
Yeah.
But after getting into the city, they um realize that actually before we get into that, I want to talk about how my man Naofmi is a level max con artist,
Yeah.
and how he was doing these potions that work on spirits and sold them for cheap one day and then said they were so popular that they'll be on, or so rare that they'll be on auction tomorrow. After the auction, they sold one bottle and then had Risha break the rest and sold the last one for like 4 gold pieces. I was like, bro, my man's a con artist.
Oh, Risha wasn't in on it.
She wasn't. She didn't know.
Yeah,
They just had her bust her ass. She probably felt so bad.
she did.
But continue on. They're in this. They're in enemy territory, and Naofmi. I didn't even hear it, but Naofmi heard Philo, and that's before that. You saw the man whipping her, trying to get her to dance and sing and flutter her wings, and I was like, I genuinely don't feel good about this. Like this was not okay. And that's when Naofmi heard her and ran over there and then heard her screaming, and my man was ready to kill everyone in that building. Maybe not the bystanders, the people watching, but
Yeah,
like he was ready to kill the 2 people handling Philo.
as he should.
As I was like, that was appropriate reaction. But like they convince him, Kazuna and Risha convince him like, hey, this isn't the way to do this. Let's take it out. Let's try to do this at night. So he goes in there. They go in there and then like they find a bird room, and they think Philo's not in there, but now for me just recognizes her even in humming fairy bird form. And they're like, how'd you know it was her? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like an important comrade. How could I not recognize her? And then the dude shows up and he's like, you guys are trying to take my prized possession. And now for me, I actually wish he would have killed him, but like this is a close second. Like just making him feel the terror of like going through what he puts the animals through.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I thought I was like that was good, and then like of course because of the trauma, Philo like would not let go of Naofmi like all night, all day, and Philo was actually, it was funny that Philo was the one that named the raccoon and called it Raph,
yeah,
and like one at some point Ratalia's name disappeared from the party list, and Naofmi was about to freak out, and then Raph was just like, nah, it's all good. I'm still here, dude. I mean, I don't think
yeah,
you really care about me, even though I like you, and it's kind of fucked up. But like, nah, she's cool because I'm cool.
yeah. Pretty much.
So overall, I think Shield Hero last 3 episodes, fantastic.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And then like, so where is are we? You think we're gonna have 5 episodes of Spy? No, right? I think it's gonna be 2 episodes of Spy and then 1 episode of Shield Hero next week.
Yeah. Or three, then two, and one following week.
No, because
But
this was the last episode for Shield Hero, so next week it will just be 1 episode.
yeah, that's something we can talk about later.
I was just curious. Because let me
Yeah,
see.
well, curiosity killed the cats.
Ooh, almost played the episode. So there's currently 2 episodes of Spy, and then one. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll discuss later. But
Yeah.
anything you want to note, Irby?
Nope. Stay frosty, kids.
All right, homies. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace.